You know what else costs $500 a month?
Damn.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. Okay, well, Adobe Max happened this week. Last year I went and then took a red-eye Tuesday night because it starts on a Tuesday to come back here. I decided that's a bad idea because I don't like doing that anymore. So
Red
I didn't
eyes
do
are
it.
annoying. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like having red eyes like bunnies. I like having regular eyes.
Hazel
eyes.
I'm glad you did that because we got all the same information from the internet
What? Oh.
about Adobe.
Yeah.
I don't need to do that. So
Yeah.
I'm glad.
Yeah, so they had Max is their annual developer conference. It's not really it's a development conference. They kind of show what they did, and then they teach you how to use it, I guess. It's sort of for creatives. They weirdly did not really seem to, at least on the first day, ship or talk about a lot of new Premiere or After Effects features. They actually had pretty big Premiere and After Effects updates like a couple of weeks ago. So I'm not really sure if that was supposed to be like not as big of a deal. They do have generative select now in Premiere. Anyway, I'm just going to go over Photoshop and Lightroom because that's what I use the most often, and there are some interesting features here.
I like Lightroom.
You like Lightroom? You use Lightroom?
Yeah.
All right, we'll do Lightroom first.
Hey.
So Lightroom, which is a photo editing app, now has an assisted culling feature, which if you don't, do you guys know what culling is?
Nope.
I don't think I know.
Okay.
It's when you got sick sheep and you got to do something about it.
Damn.
Not too different, actually. Lambs. No, I'm kidding. So if you're like a working photographer and you shoot burst mode, which is, I'm happy for you. I would never do it myself. I don't want to deal with that many photos. Yeah. If you're like a wedding photographer and you're just going,
As they do.
those
1DXs.
Yeah. When you go home and you have to like decide which is the best photo, that's really, really, really annoying, right? Because a lot of those photos, people are going to be blinking, people are going to be doing this, and having to go like ding, ding, ding through every picture is very annoying. So with image recognition, you can now understand, oh, this person is blinking. This photo is overexposed. So if you import a ton of pictures, they have all of these different selection modes where you can select, okay, make sure people are smiling, make sure people are not blinking, organize the photos that are overexposed versus properly exposed, and it'll kind of contextually understand that. So that's very useful. And you can like tag things as selects and rejects, and then it'll separate them into separate areas. That's sort of a quality of life, really useful, but it is still using the image recognition, semantic recognition that we've developed recently.
It's best shot.
It is basically best take.
That's kind of awesome, honestly.
Yeah. There's a color variance slider now. So, for example, in your skin tones on your face, you have many different tones. And sometimes, if you just up the contrast on a photo, it also ups the contrast on the colors in your face. So you'll have like reds and greens and, yellows in your face. Shadows. And if you up the contrast, it's going to make those go away. They now have a slider that allows you to basically lower the contrast between certain colors or heighten the contrast between certain colors of certain areas so that you can more easily sort of get rid of those different color variations and make it all similar. So that's cool. They have automatic dust and sensor smudge removal. So if your camera sensor or lens has dust or like marks on it, it will automatically understand that when you import the photos, and it will suggest that you content or fill them away. So that's very cool. I really wish that they did this with film dust because I have thousands of little dust particles on my film. That's really freaking annoying, but we are a very small market, so they will not care about
dozens
me.
Of us.
There are dozens. You can now batch rename files, which apparently they did not have before, which is very useful. And then also, something that's kind of cool, you can auto-select objects, and it will automatically recognize if that object created a reflection or a shadow, and it will also select that part of it.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's
so
good.
If you're trying to fill something out, like they gave an example of a lighthouse that they selected the lighthouse, but then the person hadn't realized, the lighthouse is casting a reflection in the water. So if you just select the lighthouse, it'll spin this little wheel for a sec, and it'll select the lighthouse and the reflection in the water. And then when you do generative remove or something, it'll also get rid of the reflection. So
that's cool.
That's very helpful.
Yeah.
So that's Lightroom. Photoshop was quite interesting. They now allow you to use different generative models for their generative fill. So instead of just using the Adobe Firefly models. They now accept Nano Banana, which is Google's Gemini image recognition model.
Nano banana.
That sounds like something else.
We
would
never-
say as a minion.
I thought Nano Banana was Gemini's Sora. I thought it was a video generation.
No.
model.
It's an image generation model. And it's something that I'm surprised we actually never talked about because it did blow up for quite a while.
Yeah, but it's not that good.
Well, the good things about it is that it's really good at keeping character consistency. So if you needed to generate multiple images of the same person, they would continuously look the same. And so that we're entering this weird phase because remember when ChatGPT and remember when Gemini had like a model drop down window and it had like a zillion options and you're like, what is the difference between
Why do I need Flash
Nano,
or
Flash,
Nano?
and so they're doing that right now. I assume they will eventually just have an auto select the model that you need feature. But for example, Nano Banana has the character consistency thing. So if you want to, turn the angle, say you have a person facing forward and you're like, oh, I actually want the camera to be looking down on them. You can use that model and you can say, make it looking down from a 45-degree angle. It'll be looking down at them and they'll be looking up at you. So it like maintains the way that the person looks. Pretty interesting. It's kind of like a virtual camera feature.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is, I don't know, kind of weird. And then there's, other models that are good at different other things. Select subject and remove background have gotten much better on device because they used to be only good in the cloud. The remove tool's gotten significantly better. There's a new generative upscale feature, which gives more partner model options. So Topaz upscale AI is now an option within Photoshop. So it's very interesting. So it can you can take a low res image and it will upscale it same way that Topaz has always done.
Yeah, I was gonna say I never use these upscaling features because all the source images I usually have are high res, but I guess for older images maybe it's better.
I use the Topaz ones a lot, and they're really good if you set them at 10 to 30%. Like if you hit this slam upscale, make this a million pixels, it
It's
will
very
look goopy.
Goopy, yeah.
But at 10 to 30%, it can do some pretty gnarly stuff.
Yeah. And then I think that one of the biggest features is Harmonize, which did come out last year in the beta. But Harmonize is basically you can take any PNG, you can drop it into any image, and you can hit Harmonize, and it will naturally make all of the lighting and the color of the thing that you dropped into the image just look like it's realistically part of that image.
Oh, so Photoshop skills.
Yeah, but
being good at
auto
Photoshop, but it just does it automatically now.
Yeah, auto Photoshop.
Nice.
So
Hey, thanks for watching this video. Obviously, there's lots of new like button animations, and we learned about those this episode, but what we want to learn about for real is your top 3 Halloween candies.
And why it's ooze tube.
You're going trick-or-treating, you pull up to a house, you see a huge tub of candy, you know they have everything, you cross your fingers, you open your eyes, and you're hoping to see blank. Fill in the blank, please.
I like.
we're also curious what our like button does. So hit it.
Boo.